1812. Napoleon Bonaparte controlled 70 million people from Spain to Poland, from Holland to Italy. The largest European empire since Rome. 600,000 soldiers marching into Russia. How did he pay for all this? He sold Louisiana to America for $15 million. He bankrupted every enemy of Europe through an economic blockade, and he stole everything that wasn't nailed down. Welcome to MoneyTrace, where we follow the money behind history, and nothing is ever as simple as it looks. To understand Napoleon's empire, you need to know the cost. 1792 to 1815, 23 years of almost constant war. The Grande Armée at its peak, 680,000 soldiers. Each soldier cost 1,500 francs per year. Food, uniforms, weapons, horses, gunpowder. That's over 1 billion francs annually. Just for the army, the navy, millions more, fortifications, millions more, bribes to allies, millions more. Napoleon's first solution: steal everything. 1796, Italy. Napoleon was a 26-year-old general, leading a starving, unpaid army. So he promised them, soldiers, you are naked and badly fed. I will lead you into the most fertile plains on earth. There you will find great cities and rich provinces. There you shall find honor, glory, and riches. Translation: we're going to rob Italy. And they did. Napoleon looted 45 million francs from Milan, 20 million from the Vatican. Paintings, sculptures, gold, silver, everything shipped back to Paris. This became Napoleon's template. Austria, Prussia, Poland, Spain. Every conquered nation had to 1. Pay a massive war indemnity. Prussia, after Jena, 140 million francs. Austria, after Austerlitz, 40 million. To feed and house French troops at local expense. German cities had to pay to be occupied. 3. Provide soldiers for future wars. Bavaria, Saxony, Italy. Their armies now fought for Napoleon. But sometimes Napoleon needed cash fast. 800. Spain gave Louisiana back to France. Napoleon's plan: rebuild the French colonial empire. But there was a problem. Haiti, a slave rebellion led by Toussaint Louverture. Napoleon sent 35,000 troops to crush it. Yellow fever killed 24,000 of them, including the commanding general. Haiti wants its independence. April 7th, 1803. Napoleon sat in his bathtub. His brothers Joseph and Lucien came to see him. They wanted him not to sell Louisiana. Britain had even offered Joseph £100,000 to convince Napoleon to keep it. But Napoleon's mind was made up. Gentlemen, think what you please about it. The sale of Louisiana is not a measure I wish to take. It is a measure I have already taken. 3 reasons. 1. Can't defend it against Britain. TWO. War with Britain is coming. 3. Need money now. April 30th, 1803. The treaty was signed. Price: 60 million francs, about 15 million US dollars. Here's the twist. Napoleon got the money from a British bank, Barings Bank. Britain and France were enemies, about to go to war. But Barings bought US bonds at a 12.5% discount, paid Napoleon cash, then sold the bonds to Dutch and British investors. A British bank financed Napoleon's wars against Britain. Capitalism at its finest. October 21st, 1805. Battle of Trafalgar. Admiral Nelson destroyed the French fleet. Napoleon could not invade Britain, so he tried something else. Economic warfare. November 21st, 1806, the Berlin Decree. Napoleon announced a blockade of Britain. No European nation could trade with Britain. France, Spain, Italy, Holland, Germany, Poland, all British goods banned. Napoleon's logic was simple. Britain is an island. Its economy depends on trade with Europe. 40% of British exports went to Europe. Cut off Europe, and British factories close. Workers riot. Government collapses. Britain would beg for peace. It was a brilliant plan. On paper. The problem: you can't enforce a blockade on land. Smugglers operated everywhere. Within months of the Berlin Decree, 1,475 ships arrived in Hamburg, carrying 590,000 tons of British goods. Holland ignored the blockade completely. Portugal refused to comply. Russia traded secretly. Meanwhile, European economies collapsed. French port cities ruined. Marseille, Bordeaux, La Rochelle, unemployment soared. Food prices tripled. 1810. Russia started ignoring the Continental system. They needed British trade, hemp, timber, grain exports. Napoleon gave them an ultimatum: enforce the blockade, or I invade. Russia refused. June 24th, 1812, 600,000 soldiers crossed into Russia, the largest army ever assembled. September 14th, 1812, Napoleon entered Moscow. The city was abandoned and burning. No food, no supplies. Winter coming, Napoleon ordered the retreat. The Russian winter destroyed his army. Starvation, disease, frostbite, Cossack attacks. Of 600,000 who entered Russia, only 40,000 returned. A 93% casualty rate. The Continental system had cost Napoleon everything. Spain was in revolt. Russia was his enemy. Prussia and Austria turned against him. 1813, the Battle of Leipzig, the Battle of Nations. Napoleon faced combined armies of Russia, Prussia, Austria, and Sweden. He lost. 1814. Paris fell. Napoleon abdicated, exiled to Elba. The Continental system was the first attempt at total economic warfare. Napoleon proved something. You can weaponize trade. Today we call them sanctions. Russia after Ukraine invasion. Iran over nuclear program. North Korea over weapons. The difference: today, America controls the dollar and the SWIFT banking system. Napoleon controlled ports. America controls money itself, much more effective. How did Napoleon fund his empire? He plundered conquered nations. He sold Louisiana for cash. He attempted to bankrupt Britain. And in the end, he bankrupted everyone, including himself. The Continental system cost 200,000 dead in Spain, 500,000 dead in Russia and Napoleon's empire. The money trail never lies. If this changed how you see economic warfare, hit that subscribe button. We trace the money behind history because nothing is ever as simple as it looks.